Our next guest is a World Series champion, a World Series MVP. He is the biggest signing in the history of Toronto's baseball franchise, and considering he used to play for the Connecticut Jays, this is technically his second go-around with the Blue Jays. George Springer has been kind enough to join us here on Tim and Sid. George, my name's Sid. His name is Tim. We got a lot of Canadians watching and listening. We appreciate your time. Welcome to the country, kinda. How weird is it to celebrate becoming a Canadian in a way without being able to come to Canada? This must be kind of strange, but happy at the same time for it.
Yeah, I mean, one, thanks for having me. I'm excited, but two, it's exciting, to really kind of embrace the opportunity that's presented itself. It's fun. I don't really think there's any harm in it. I don't really think there's anything bad about it. I'm excited and, I'm very, very appreciative of the opportunity for sure.
George, besides the money, because as Wu-Tang Clan once taught us, cash rules. What was it that excited you about joining the Blue Jays?
Man, a lot of things. Obviously the young talent that's here. I named a lot of guys earlier, but I didn't get a chance to name guys like Teoscar Hernandez, Nate Pearson, Rowdy Tellez. Like I didn't get a chance to name guys like that, and that's on me. But you know what? The way that Ross and Mark really stood by their players and believe in their players, the way that they believe in the organization, it was something special to me, and it's something that I'll personally probably never forget. The way that they express their gratitude for all their players and their desire to bring back a championship to a country was a really big factor.
Wait till you get a load of Alejandro Kirk. You're just going to want to hug him, but that's another story for another day. You did mention a lot of the big names along the way, and Kirk's become a sensation up here. But when you mention the support from the front office, what is that like? What part of the conversation does that come up, and how does that become a part of the lure to join the Jays?
I think whenever you're on the ground level and you're really entrenched in playing the game, you kind of tend to get lost as a player that the whole organization is really behind you. And you tend to kind of think that sometimes it may feel that it's not, but that's not the case. And Ross and Mark really did, a heck of a job at just being honest and saying like, hey, I believe in this group, and I expect them to do great things. And when you hear that and it got repeated over and over and over again. So like it becomes that you understand, how much they care for their players and how much that they really are in their corner.
George Springer, the Toronto Blue Jays, here on Tim and Sid. Yeah, I said it. He's a Blue Jay. George, biggest signing in franchise history. I was going to ask how much added pressure, but you've been in a World Series, so it's kind of a dumb question. But what does that mean to you that Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins, and Mark just signed a new deal here in Toronto, as you know, like this signing will forever be linked to them, whatever happens. And they have tied themselves to you. How much responsibility do you feel now, not only for them, not only for the fans, but for the organization, considering the level of investment here?
Oh yeah. One, it's an absolute honor, and it's one that I don't take lightly. I understand, kind of what comes with a deal like this. I may not necessarily understand what I'm kind of getting myself into completely, but I understand that I'm expected to go out there and play and play well. But I also understand, I think there's a little bit more to it. I'm expecting, to come in and just kind of try to be myself, to lead by example, to try to have a lot of fun. I want to make sure that at the end of the day, whenever the end is that I can make sure that Ross and Mark feel and felt really, really good about my time here. And so I get it. There is a little bit of pressure, but at the same time, just, understanding that there are a lot of people in my corner, and I'm in a great spot. I feel very, very happy. So I'm just going to embrace it, and hopefully I can provide the fans a lot of fun and excitement.
George, the Jays as a franchise have played 63 total playoff games in the history of the team. That's how many games you have played in the postseason. I gotta ask you, do you think they're paying, like, how much of this contract is for regular season, George? And how much of this contract is for October, George?
I don't know. I think that's a question that you got to ask them. I don't know. I love the playoffs. I think the playoffs are one of the best things ever. I mean, you play the game to play the playoffs. It's not, I can't wait to play this game in May. I can't wait to play in October. And one of the things that I told Ross was this team has the ability and will play in October. And, there's something to be said to playing in a venue in May, but then there's something to be said about playing in a venue in October. And I think me being as fortunate as I was to play in as many games as I have, I just kind of embrace it, and the playoffs are where you're supposed to go out and enjoy it. I got told one time that you might as well go out and enjoy it because you never know if you're ever going to get back. So I just kind of embrace it in stride, and hopefully I can continue that.
George Springer joining us here on Tim and Sid. We've heard the Jays front office talk about culture and creating the right environment around the team. We also played a clip of you talking to a young man about his stutter that was that touched a lot of people. Did they talk to you about what you can bring to this clubhouse and how you can affect culture and environment around this young team?
Yeah, that was something that was obviously very, very big for them. Was they believe that the clubhouse atmosphere was already extremely special. And the thing that I said is it's on me to understand how the guys operate. It's on me to come into the locker room and really respect their space and respect what has already been instilled and what's been created. And it's also on me to earn that respect. And I'm not going to try to come in there and change the way that they go about things and all that stuff. I'm being brought into their locker room, and it's my job to earn their respect. It's my job to kind of earn the trust of the locker room, whenever that is. But fully understanding that, I can have an influence, just by, hopefully having some fun and kind of just being who I've always been.
Being you. The natural follow-up to that for me is, do you think your history with the Astros and the garbage can scandal hurts that at all? Your reputation and your reputation in the clubhouse, more specifically?
I think ultimately at the end of the day, I'm going to be who I always have been. I'm not going to falter from it. I am who I am. I'm a guy that likes to have fun, that likes to enjoy the game, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
George Springer, Toronto Blue Jays, here on Tim and Sid. Dave Hudgins is a guy you know pretty well. For the baseball fan, the lay baseball fan of this country, bench coach with the Jays, but hitting coach with George in Houston. I'm curious, George, how many discussions did you have with Dave in the lead up to this? I would assume a couple, but forgive me, I don't know. And what was there one thing said, one specific kind of conversation you had that in hindsight you now say that also played a pretty big role in this?
I think the one thing that Hudgie said to me that was actually echoed by more than one person was everybody's egoless. And when you put it that way, when you're in a locker room and you're around guys who are having success, but you're all pulling in the same direction, that really had a big impact on me. And you know, when Hudgie said that, when Charlie said that, it was kind of like, okay, you know, this is, it's not just a line, it's not just a phrase. That's how they operate.
You're being awesome with your time, but I got to ask you, because we are both born and raised Toronto boys, and one of the most amazing things that we have experienced growing up is this is truly a national team, and it's kind of crazy, especially if you watch hockey where everyone hates Toronto, but the Jays have somehow nearly united the country. Do you realize how expansive this fan base is?
You know what? I can say that I do and I don't, if I'm being completely honest, but it's an opportunity that I embrace. I'm excited about it. You know, there's a nation behind one team, and you know, it's our job as players to go out and give the fans what they deserve. And you know, that's playing hard every day. That's fighting until the absolute end. And, you know, eventually, you know, whatever happens, but it is, you know, something special. Like I've seen the highlights, of when the Blue Jay fans will come down to Seattle. I mean, it basically looks like a Blue Jay home game. And
that's a good time, man.
It's exciting.
That's a good time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, it's exciting. And it's a pretty surreal feeling, but it's an opportunity that I am embrace, and I'm excited about it.
I got one more for you. I got a good friend who is a coach at the University of Hartford, where there's an old UConn assistant. Do you still do backflips?
Well, so I can if I want to. The problem is I don't know if it's worth doing a backflip anymore. I think I'd need to kind of stay away from it. But yeah, I can do it if I need to. But the last time I did, I got in trouble. So I've kind of abandoned ship on those.
If I just handed you this deal and I saw that, I'd have a heart attack.
I'm
flat out.
For complete full disclosure, I'm going to stay away from backflips unless I have to like flip over somebody, you know, and avoid a collision or something.
Yes.
It's still hella impressive though. Like we're showing the video right now. Like,
don't get us wrong. No, don't get it twisted, George. It's impressive, but it's just times maybe have changed financially for you. So maybe
I don't think it would be worth trying to do a backflip right now.
Correct.
I agree.
Probably.
All right. So breaking news: George Springer will not do that anymore. Breaking news.
I will not do it unless I have to.
Good, right. Good. Tim and Sid with George Springer. One last thing, George, because you've done a lot of media today, and we appreciate it. So your role now, because this offseason is not over, what role does George Springer now take in the potential acquisition of maybe one or two more guys in free agency? Do you have a Rolodex? Are you in Ross's ear about somebody? Are you in Mark's ear? Like, what are you going to sit? Are you going to sit back and watch, or does the competitor in you, seeing that right now around this new division you're in, it hasn't exactly been crazy from an acquisition standpoint? Are you in Ross's ear saying, "Look, I got a guy. Do you need me to make a text? Do you need me to make a call?" Is that the role you take?
I mean, if he asks me, I may throw a suggestion out there, but I'm not going to overstep my boundaries. I kind of just got here, so I'm gonna learn the lay of the land a little bit. I'm not going to overstep my boundary whatsoever. I mean, I'm obviously open to any suggestions. I can maybe suggest some guys or whatever the case, but I kind of think for now, you know, I'm gonna let Ross and Mark do Ross and Mark things and just kind of sit back and get ready to play a full season here.
I sense you just coming up with a T-shirt, Ross and Mark things. Maybe you can sell it online.
There you go, Ross and Mark things.
He's already helping out with the Blue Jays store online. He's been here 8 minutes. He's already selling stuff on BlueJays.com. George, I can't thank you enough for the time, and I can't express to you enough. I'm sure you saw it on social. The reaction this got, like during an inauguration, the reaction this got up in this country on a tough news day to break through, it cut through. Welcome to Canada. Welcome to Toronto. Hopefully this gets better soon and we can see you in person. And all the best to you and your family. Take care, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the time. And stay safe. And, you know, hopefully we can see each other soon.